Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Unread Book Summary channel. We're so glad you're here with us today, wherever you might be tuning in from. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more book journeys. So, have you ever wondered why some people with absolutely zero financial training get rich, while others, literal financial geniuses, end up totally bankrupt? Today, we're diving into Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money, to unpack the surprising truths about wealth. And spoiler alert, it has a lot more to do with your mindset than your paycheck.
So let's kick things off with a real-life puzzle. The book introduces us to two men whose financial stories seem to defy all logic. And really, their stories force us to question everything we think we know about money and success.
All right, so on one side you've got Ronald Reed, a lifelong janitor and gas station attendant. And on the other side, Richard Fuscone, a Harvard-educated top executive at Merrill Lynch. I mean, one of these guys had every single advantage you could possibly imagine, while the other seemingly had none.
But this is where the story gets really interesting. When Ronald Reed passed away back in 2014, this humble janitor just shocked everyone. Turns out he had quietly built an $8 million fortune, and he left most of it to his local hospital and library. Just incredible.
Meanwhile, what about Richard Fuscone, the guy with the fancy Ivy League degree and the huge mansion? Well, during the 2008 financial crisis, his lavish, debt-fueled lifestyle completely fell apart. He declared bankruptcy, and his massive home was sold off in a foreclosure auction.
So this story just forces you to ask the big question, right? How is that even possible? What separates these two outcomes isn't education or intelligence or even experience. It's something else entirely.
And the answer gets to the absolute heart of Housel's entire argument. It's a really simple idea, but honestly, it is a complete game changer for understanding how money really works. And this one quote just captures the essence of the entire book. What Housel is arguing is that financial success isn't about what you can calculate on a spreadsheet. It's a soft skill. It's all about your psychology.
You know, think about it like this. Money behaves more like psychology than it does physics. Ronald Reed's secret weapon wasn't some hot stock tip, it was his patience. And Richard Fuscone's downfall wasn't a bad formula, it was his greed. At the end of the day, their behavior, not their IQ, wrote their financial stories. So, okay, if being a genius isn't the key, then what is? The book points to a few incredibly powerful behaviors that are way more important. Let's dig into two of them.
First up, getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two completely different skills. Getting wealthy often means you have to take risks, be optimistic, and be a little bold. But staying wealthy? Oh, that takes humility. It takes a healthy dose of paranoia that everything you've made could disappear just as fast.
The legendary trader Jesse Livermore is the perfect case study here. He was an absolute master at getting rich. He made the equivalent of $3 billion in the 1929 market crash. But he couldn't hold on to it. His confidence morphed into overconfidence, and he lost everything because he never mastered the art of staying wealthy.
Okay, the second big principle is the incredible and honestly often misunderstood power of compounding. And there is no better story to illustrate this than Warren Buffett. We all know he's a brilliant investor, right? But that's not his real secret.
Get this. Warren Buffett started investing seriously when he was just 10 years old. 10! Think about that for a second. While most people were just starting their careers, Buffett already had decades of compounding working for him. His real advantage wasn't just being smart, it was having an unbelievable head start in time.
And this chart really shows you the mind-blowing impact of that time. If Buffett had a normal career and retired at 60, his net worth would be about $12 million. That's 99.9% less than what it became. It wasn't just a few amazing years of investing. It was decades of pretty good returns that let compounding work its magic.
So this idea of compounding leads us to another really critical distinction the book makes, one that's super easy to get wrong, especially in our society.
So being rich means you have a big income. We see it all the time, right? The fancy cars, the huge houses. But being wealthy, that's what you don't see. It's the money that you don't spend. It's the assets that are saved and invested, working for you behind the scenes to create options and freedom.
This quote just perfectly captures that idea. We're all trained to look for wealth in what people buy. But Housel argues that real wealth is the exact opposite. It's the financial assets that you haven't turned into stuff yet. It is the quiet power of what you don't see. So, if wealth isn't really about buying more and more stuff, what's the point? What's its ultimate purpose? Well,
Housel argues it's for buying something that is truly priceless.
And it all comes down to this one single, powerful idea. The highest dividend money will ever pay you is control over your own time. It's the freedom to wake up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. That is the ultimate return on wealth.
And this isn't some crazy far-off goal. It's a progression. It starts small, like having enough in savings so you don't have to stress about taking a day off when you're sick. Then maybe it grows into having the freedom to leave a job you hate or to retire on your own terms. Every single dollar you save is buying you a little piece of that control back.
Ultimately, The Psychology of Money isn't really a book about finance. It's a book about living a good life. It challenges all of us to stop chasing the next dollar just for the sake of it, and instead to ask ourselves a much more powerful question. What kind of life do we want our money to help us build? And more specifically, what dividend do you really want your money to pay? This concludes today's book summary. Thank you for joining us and for your continued support. Please subscribe to stay updated with our latest summaries, and we'll see you in the next video.